I love Mexican food. I love Mexican people. I don't even know what it is. I think it's just people, we have a connection, you know? I don't know, South Africans and Mexicans or something. People from shithole countries, we have this thing. I still can't believe the things Donald Trump says. He's such a... For me, Donald Trump is an emotional paradox, I'm not gonna lie. You know, logically, I can process him. Emotionally, I struggle. On the one hand, I will admit, I wake up many days terrified at the notion that he's president of the most powerful nation in the world. But I also must admit, I wake up many days knowing he's gonna make me laugh. Yeah, there's terror and there's joy, and I don't know how to feel. You know what it feels like sometimes? It feels like there's a giant asteroid headed towards the Earth, but it's shaped like a penis. Like, I think I'm gonna die, but I know I'm gonna laugh. You just look at everything that he does. The world we now live in because of him. Like, you realize we're living through history. You know, this will never happen in our lifetimes again. We're living through a time when we're all learning about the presidency at the same time as the president. That's never happened. How wild is that concept? You wake up every day reading the news and you're like, wow, I didn't know that. And somewhere at that exact same moment, he's reading the same news going, wow, me too. And nobody knows where it's going to lead. Nobody knows what he's going to do. All we know is that he wants his wall. He wants his wall. Donald Trump wants his wall. He needs $25 billion the last time he asked. He needs it from American taxpayers because Mexico is smart. That fell apart real quick. I remember how confident he was at the rallies, people cheering for him. He was like, folks, we're gonna build. We're gonna build a wall, folks. Who's gonna pay? Mexico. And Mexico was like, we ain't paying for shit, man. We might build it, but we're not gonna pay for it, man. And I don't know if you've been following the journey of the wall, but it's probably the best comedy on TV, right? Because now they've started building prototypes of the wall at the border, right? Because Donald Trump said he wants them to test the wall first. I don't know how you do that. You know, it's like, try again. And because this is the prototypes, Donald Trump now has specifications for the wall. He now says he wants the wall to be made out of concrete, but he also needs the wall to be see-through, right? And the reason the president wants the wall to be see-through is because he said he's afraid that drug dealers from Mexico are going to shoot bags of drugs over the wall and it's going to hit Americans on the head as they walk by. So he needs the wall to be see-through so that Americans can see the drugs coming and catch it. Now, I'm not going to lie. I don't know what a see-through wall is. But at this point, I'm just worried that a contractor is going to come along and trick the president. He's going to take him to the border and be like, there it is, Mr. Trump. Your invisible wall. And then just to make sure he buys it, he's going to hire a troop of Mexican mimes just to be like, oh my God, you can't get through it. It works. Like the mind of Donald Trump. Oh, the other idea he had for the wall was he said America should build the wall out of solar panels. That's what he said. He said America should build the wall out of solar panels because that way the wall would generate electricity and pay for itself. Yeah. Now, I'm not gonna lie, that's a good idea, right? It's a good idea. Unless you know anything about solar panels or the sun or walls. Because the problem with that idea is that the sun is up, yeah? We all agree on that? We're still on the same page there? Yeah? The sun is up, right? A solar panel wall is not going to work because a wall is like this. So technically it's facing down. So unless you have like a really swaggy sun that's like, yeah, I shine real low, B, it's not going to work for you. The only way it works is if you take your border solar panel and lean it at an angle to get the sun's rays. But if you do that, now you've just created a giant ramp for Mexicans to shoot into America. It's like, órale! The mind of Donald J. Trump. The J stands for Jesus. A lot of people don't know that. Yeah, a lot of self-loathing going on there. And he's always going after someone, right? He's always going after someone. If it's not Mexicans, it's Muslims. If it's not Muslims, it's Africans from shithole countries. And that one was my favorite personally, because I am an African and I've shat in a hole. I also liked it because people came up to me and asked me questions. There was one man who came up to me after a show, really concerned. He was like, Trevor, hey, can I ask you a question? I said, yeah, go ahead, my friend. He said, hey, Trevor, I just wanted to know when Donald Trump says all these horribly racist things, do you sometimes just want to, pack it up, leave America, go back to South Africa and escape all this racism? I said, my friend, you don't go to South Africa to escape racism. That's where you go to stock up. Are you kidding me? That's the one thing that reminds me of home. Racism out here. Because we've got tons of racism in South Africa. And don't get me wrong, it's gotten a lot better. When I was growing up, we had apartheid. And, apartheid was basically the best racism in the world. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Now you're going to feel bad and be like, oh, racism was the best. No, it wasn't. It was good, but not the best. And I experienced a bunch of racism, and everyone did. I never felt like it was a bad thing, mostly because of my family. My mother is a black woman, Xhosa woman. My father's Swiss from Switzerland. And them being a couple was against the law, and that was a problem for us living together. And so we experienced a ton of racism. And in case you're wondering, yes, Xhosa is one of the languages with the clicks in it, right? Xhosa, but not like in American movies, just so you know. Yeah, I've seen those movies where they have Africans and they're like, that's not a language. Yeah, even we watch those movies and we're like, I wonder what they are saying, yeah? Where are they from? I think they're from Cleveland. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to my channel so you can win cool prizes. And by prizes, I mean surprise. There's no prizes. It's a free YouTube video, you greedy. Just click the video, man. Why you want free things on free things? But I've realized Americans have a very strange perception of Africa. I don't blame you guys, though, It's because of the images that you fed on TV, the stuff that you see of us. You just get all these UNICEF ads, Those infomercials, those are horrible. That's all I've seen of home, Because you've got these people and they're really gaunt and they're skinny and they're just like, and they've got the kwashiko and everything and they just look as horrible as possible. They just get there and, they're shooting this. And then Penelope Cruz will start talking as the woman's holding her starving baby in her arms and they'll come in and be like, every year, more than 5 million children are starving in Africa. You can make a difference if you donate $10 a month. You can donate a family's life. And you can change everything. Look at this child. And they show you the kid and, and they go in there. And I understand this is a painful thing, I understand. But I just don't understand the small elements. Why do they include that, Why is it that in every single one of these infomercials, why do they always have to have these people with the fly? What is up with that fly? I don't understand it. What is going on with the fly? There's always the flies. And it's not just the flies in the shot. It's not just the shot. It's not just the flies there, but they've got the flies and they sit in a very specific place. They always sit on their mouth, always on the top lip. It's always on the top. How do they get the fly? I've tried. It's very difficult to get a fly to sit on your top lip. How do they achieve this goal? I'm sitting there watching this, and they always get it. It's almost like they don't shoot without the fly now. It's like, it's like the flies become the watermark of a starving African. It's like a trained fly. Is this one of your Disney flies? Is one of those? Come on, boy. Get in there, and stay. Okay, we're ready, and action. Every year, more than 5 million children are starving. You can make a difference if you donate $100. It's just madness. What is it? And it angers me. It really does. I understand. There's people starving. Yes, there are people starving in Africa. I do understand this. There are people starving. But I don't understand why they need to make us look that bad. And yes, I will say it. They do make us look bad. They make the whole of Africa look bad. They make me look bad, and they make me angry. Because I grew up in a black family in Africa. And no matter how poor we were, no matter how hungry we were, No matter what, we could still do this.
Who worked for him were in that cult. But what I understood when I started researching was there were actual authoritarian cults that comprise the cult of Trump, that bring millions of their followers to follow Trump. And
So
I
it's
put
like
it,
sub-organizations, essentially.
for example, I mentioned New Apostolic Reformation churches and mega churches, and there is 30 to 40 million Americans in those that are saying that Trump won the 2020 election.
And Trump is the vessel of God. I've seen some of them
Yeah,
saying.
he's a King Cyrus figure, etc. So I made a distinction between people who just always voted Republican, just voting Republican the first time. But the second time, things have gotten connected with the billionaire techies.
Yeah.
Hacking Facebook and algorithms and state-level manipulation of people's perceptions and minds. It's not just disinformation. So I talk about a cult called The Family that recruited Democrats and Republicans into it. They were doing the National Prayer Breakfasts. Jeffrey Charlotte wrote 2 New York Times best-selling books and did a Netflix series on this political cult. I wrote about Opus Dei, which was a Catholic cult that was saying the Pope was satanic. They're the ones who put in the Federalist Society Supreme Court justices. They're the ones behind the Heritage Foundation Project 2025, Opus Dei, and I've helped many people get out of that group. So I talk about different cults. Falun Gong does the Epoch Times, Scientology, the Mormons. Nobody wants to talk about the Mormons as an authoritarian group, but talk to former leaders of the Mormons and they'll tell you what it's like. Pyramid structure, BITE. Mm-hmm. And you can go on my Substack and go through. Some of the criteria fit, some of them don't, depending on where you are in the pyramid or if you're a fringe member. But so the point is also that I named Russia as one of the puppet masters because I came to understand that when Trump was first in Moscow in 1987 and came back, he took out a full-page ad in the New York Times saying NATO should be disbanded.
He did it back then?
87.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he had no political thing before that, and who paid for that. And I interviewed Craig Unger, who has written numerous books. He's a very respected author. I interviewed him and a former KGB official for his book, American Compromat. And the former KGB official, no kidding, I had a 2-part podcast. He said, I was much higher up in the KGB than Vladimir was. It was standard operating procedure to take Western businessmen and co-opt them for our purposes. And then he named the place in New York City. And the Russians have been getting revenge on